start your stuff. Start everything. And keep putting it around things to make sure the right message get to the players. Hey, listen, I'm happy we win, and that's the most important thing. I'm happy we win. I want to be more involved. So when we come up against the better teams, and we will have a better chance at winning. We can't go where we want to go with the 28th ranked offense passing wise. So listen, that's all I want. That's what I'm telling you. I'm happy because wins are what matters. I'm very happy I'm winning.
Without further ado, he is my friend. He is one of my dear friends. And by the way, I know he was sending a lot of love out to Bernie Kosar too, because we all been keeping in touch with him. Without further ado, the legendary Playmaker joins us now. How you doing, brother?
Hey, D, what's up, D? And you know what? I was laughing just there because you're right. I've been running up and down that sideline as long as we remember. Even like when we were playing, and you guys would be on the other end, right? And I'll score to the club. Y'all go take over there. Let's go. You know what I mean? We're doing that same thing forever, dude. You know, because that's tying it together. That's what we talk about. And then you remember you and I riding around in Miami. We talk. That's accountability.
Yeah.
When I talk to you about, man, what we look like over here, man. Oh, we got it on defense. We got it on defense.
Oh yeah.
And I tell you, we got it on offense. We got this. We got game time comes.
Yeah.
We looking at each other like, I know what you're talking about. Don't be messing around. Get out of here and get it done now.
Yeah.
That's accountability. I miss that, dog.
I miss, Mike? You know what I miss? When we were on the field at Green Tree, they would be the most competitive and the greatest games I have ever played collegiately in my life were on the games where we were going 9-on-7. We were going inside drill. We were doing scrimmages. And then you got to the game on Saturday. We were both like this. Shit, why are you pulling me out, man? Well, we're up 20. I'm going, I put all that work in during the week. What are you talking about, man? That's how we lived on Green Tree. Championships were made on Green Tree, man.
And I love that because that's why I wore that shirt. Oh yeah, I wore that shirt. Green Tree made me. Yep. And honest between us, let me tell you, because and people they stole that. The Walmart, they stole it. They put it on shirts talking about get the Michael Irvin T-shirt here. And I don't know, like we feel funny about that because everybody didn't practice that Green Tree. Everybody didn't go through what you just talked about. You just talked, dude. It was different there. So when you gotta have stepped on Green Tree and did what you had to do at Green Tree before you could wear a shirt saying Green Tree made me. You see what I'm saying? But D, we had, like we talked about, we had toilet bowls where guys that didn't play on Saturday had the scrimmage that Monday.
That's right. Mike, I want to ask you flat out here. A.J. Brown, the big drama in Philadelphia has been this. By the way, Mike, I'm on Team A.J. because when you have the 28th ranked offense in pro football passing-wise, and this guy can't get the football,
I'm with you.
First off, do you think he's lost a step, or do you think it's the offense's approach on getting the ball to him? What do you think the problem is with A.J.?
Well, there's no doubt he has certainly not lost a step, And you go through these things, D, when you go through offensive coordinators changes and new people come in and try to set a way they want to do things as opposed to the old way. I'm a little shocked by this one, all of it, because let me say this way. Last year, a couple of years ago, when the Cowboys lost to the Green Bay Packers in that playoff game, remember that game a couple of years ago?
Yep.
Right here. I remember Dak Prescott throwing a slant route to CeeDee Lamb. He was a little bit in front of CeeDee Lamb. They didn't make the play. They didn't make the connection. But then this was, I don't know, early second quarter, late first quarter.
Yeah.
And the whole game, Dak and CeeDee acted like he didn't want to talk to Dak. He was walking around like they wouldn't even get together. I was like, what the hell is this? I said to myself then, there's no way you were that upset if you're CeeDee Lamb at that throw right now this early in the game. I got to give you that's the first throw. It's too early for me to be that mad at you. That had to be some shit you brought into this game. You were mad about something else when you came into this game. I watched the other day when Jalen Hurts was giving the pregame speech. A.J. Brown's over in the back, messing around, moving around. He's not even paying attention. And then I go into a game saying, same thing with CD and Dak. There's something going on that you bringing into this game before you even, because you got to, why would you ever, as a wide receiver, why would you ever, I don't give a damn where he's throwing the ball. I'm never getting mad at the quarterback. You're my quarterback. I need you throwing me the damn ball. I don't care how bad of the throw, where the throw goes. I don't want to mess with you because I don't want you to start questioning, am I going to throw it to you again? You know what I'm saying? So all of these things, absolutely. When you're, like you said, the 28th ranked team in passing, 28th ranked passing team, that's a problem if you're an A.J. Brown. But the reality is the name of the game is win. I'm with AJ, and we have to figure out why we're the 2018, but I would tread very lightly in disturbing the wins. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to deliver your message better than that because you don't want to get thrown in the frame of the TO in all of these things.
Mike, does this become a story then that AJ's got to be a better teammate?
Listen, everybody needs working over there in this situation. Absolutely. AJ Brown has some culpability here. Absolutely. But so does the coordinator. So does the quarterback. This is one of the best receivers in the National Football League. That's why I'm saying he has to be careful how he takes. Say, listen, guys, hey, start your stuff. Start everything and keep putting it around things to make sure the right message get to the players. And listen, I'm happy we winning. That's the most important thing. I'm happy we win. I want to be more involved. So when we come up against the better teams, and we will have a better chance at winning. We can't go where we want to go with the 28th ranked offense passing wise. So listen, that's all I want. That's what I'm telling you. I'm happy because wins are what matters. I'm very happy I'm winning. But Mike, I do want to get more involved. That's how you got to be smart enough to handle it that way.
How about this? I had Kurt Warner on the other day, and Kurt Warner is echoing what you're saying. He said this. He goes, A.J. Brown wants to feel like he's part of the offensive game plan. And when he's not like that, to me, it's just like he's running routes. This guy's a champion player. He is an elite guy. Elite guys like you, Mike, you want to be involved in the game.
Not a part. I must be the main focus. It's the best way for us to win. I don't want to be, I'm going to be the main focus, and the rest of the passing game works off that focus. You understand? So I'm going to draw two people sometimes. Now we get other people open. And you have to call that damn game plan like that. Okay, once I see he's drawn, there are two. You will never see Troy go somewhere else and I'm one-on-one. You see what I mean? Whole different thing now. Whole different thing. If I'm the best receiver, we got one-on-one coverage. I'm going to win 95%. The number two receiver is going to win 75%. That's why I'm number one. So one-on-one, we're going to take 95 over 75. That's just the reality. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Just the reality. Now, the problem comes, and AJ have a problem come is when I see one-on-one, and you're continuously going elsewhere with this damn football, and I'm wide open, and I am the number one. You see, that's what he's talking about. When sometimes, we have opportunities, and now you can't get me the ball.
Would you question that, Mike? Mike, would you question that when you see them going other places and not to him, where he's getting one target in the first half? How would you handle that, Mike?
I thank God I wouldn't have to in many forms. I tried to go to North. That's so funny. I was talking to North the other day, him and his daughter. And I remember, Dan, going into North, because we're getting ready to play somebody like Dion or Darryl Green, and
Or
I'm going to
Neas.
right, Neas Williams, Champ Bailey. I always say I went through gold jackets to get my gold rings. Rod Woodson's, you know what I'm saying? So all the I'll go in on Tuesday on an off day. Noah, sit in his office. Noah, what we got this week, man? I need that ball. You know what I'm saying? Mike, you think you need to come in here every day and we can talk to me? I like my job too. I know how to win. I know I got to throw you the ball. Get out. I got the game plan. I got the game. I said, all right, coach, keep that fervor. Will you put me down on that game plan? So we mess with it. We mess with it, but never at Troy. Never at Troy. You understand? And Troy and I have to have clear path of communication. And for me, I will always make my quarterback right, even when he's wrong. Even when he's wrong, I'm gonna make him right because that's our relationship. I want him to know I'm gonna always cover his back. When the ball's in the air, you ain't intercepting it. I'm covering you. When we out here talking to people, I'm covering you. I'm never going against my
Mike. I love what you just said about the relationship. And you know what, Mike, to me, I think one of the most important things then is you think that this could be something to do with the coordinator. Follow me here. He's been in the league 16 years, Mike. He was passed over 3 times in the building. He's a first-time play caller.
Right.
Do you think that has, and would you have frustrations with a guy that's a first-time play caller that maybe is not putting him in the right position for success?
Right. And I don't know, let me tell you something where we're south with me. And I'm gonna just be blunt because you're my boy and everybody. When we went to we went from North Turner to Ernie Zampese. Ernie Zampese was the one who taught Noah. So when Noah said to Ernie Zampese, this is the way we work things around here, they understood it. We came in, Ernie and I got close, just like Norv and I got close. Then Ernie left, and then we went to a Chan Gailey coming in. Chan Gailey was trying, I would say, what AJ Brown feels right now. Okay, I want it, and it's just me being real. I want to show it's my system more than it's the players. So I felt like, okay, so Chan Gailey, we're up 21-0 something against Washington in the first half. I'm killing Darryl Green. I caught like 2 touchdowns or something. He pulls me out of the game because he said, I want to save it for later in the season. No, you want more control over the team. That's really what he wanted. So I'm on the sideline on 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9 with Jeff Ogman and all of these guys in the game. And I'm like, are you joking? What is this? But he wanted to show it was more his system than individual players. And you get this because these guys are trying to build their careers too. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, Mike.
They're trying to build their careers. So if
Mike,
he comes in,
this is enlightening to everybody in Philly on what's going, because Deshaun Jackson spoke a little bit of what you're talking about. You're shedding a light on what's going on right now between Hurts, the offense, the coordinator, the head coach, and the player.
Right, and you can see it all around. You saw what Dan Campbell did. He said, "Give me this damn play sheet. I know what I'm doing." You see what I'm saying? With in Detroit, but it happens all the time, D, because these guys are trying to build their career, and we're now in an NFL where it used to be in NFL. This man can beat that man. I'm gonna take this man.
Yeah.
But now it's system beating systems. So I'm going to use a great system where you can't cover. I want to be known as the brilliant offensive coordinator who can put a system together to beat anybody. And I don't need to use an individual player. Now you go back to the Tom Brady days. Who were the receivers? You can't really remember them because they feel it was their system beating people and not man versus man beating people. And if you are AJ Brown and you are a man a man beater. I can beat man to man. I don't need you coming up with all these schemes to get me open. Just call the play. That can be frustrating. That can be frustrating. You're trying to design some great design play to get me open. Joker, just run her out. Just run a comeback. Do all of that designing stuff for them other jokers that can't beat man coverage. I can. Let me do that. That could be something going on. Now I'm just sharing my experiences. I'm not saying that's reality.
Mike, and Mike, how about this too? How much does that hurt the quarterback? Because get this, they're 28th. He throws these 5-yard to the line of scrimmages. He doesn't really throw a lot on time. And now we're starting to see a little bit of AJ. It's not loafing, Mike. I wonder if he just doesn't trust what's being thrown to him and why, because I can't think of a guy like that loafing backside on a play. I think it's got more to do with trust. Am I right when I say something like that?
Well, you're right in this sense. You're right in this sense. If ever you're calling plays, and let me tell you something. These are realities, and everybody likes to play in the bull. Like, man, you got to give 100% every time. Oh, you got every time. No, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. Stop. I know it sounds right and it sounds good. So at any minute, every one of us, we have to find ways to be able to conserve energy so we can use it where we need it most. So a backside run. I'm over here. I'm on the left side. Emmett's going to take a pitch and run all the way right. I'm not going full speed fast as I can and try to get all the way over there to block on the other side of the safety when I know I'm never going to make that. I'm not so don't say you gotta go full speed all the time. No, I'm gonna run, but in this area, I may conserve some energy to get over here on the run. Now I'll catch Emmett if he cuts back. Bam! I'll knock somebody out. He cuts all the way back and get. But I have to know how I gotta play this game. Because if Emmett gets -2 yards and I just sprint it all the way across the field, the next play is going to be a pass. I have to go deeper. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. So you got to look at when you see somebody's loafing. I don't necessarily call that loafing. I call that's reality. You got to conserve and know how to play. And the odds of you getting all the way back over there every time on a pitch to get to that safety or freeze, it's unlikely. Now, like I said, unless Emmett cuts all the way back and then that safety, bam, I got to take him out. So that's why I'm on the floor, on the follow. But I'm not I'm not running that like I'm running that sometimes.
Mike, let me get your thoughts on the Cowboys here, man. A couple more here for you. Boy, I'll tell you, Dak's having a great year. Mike, how impressed have you been with George Pickens?
I've been real impressed with him. And on both sides, now impressed with how he's handled things because, how he's handled things, his attitude and everything, but also with the opportunities that he's getting. And here's what George has to understand too, as everything comes in, especially now he's a Dallas Cowboy, because everybody is going to try to come after him and pin him against Jared, just like they did Michael. And you even hear him now talking about, they got the same agent. I said Michael messed up with his agent, and I'll say this, and I'll say this, George Pickens will mess up if he allowed an agent to make the call.
That guy in Houston is going to screw that thing up again, man. You watch that.
Right. You got, man, listen, you don't have many, George Pickens. You've been in Pittsburgh. You know what it's like to end up in a place where they can't get you the football. You're starting to have a year now. I'm not leaving that quarterback. You see what I'm saying? To go back into another hunt, go back into some other place where we may be on a hunt again for a quarterback, and I may throw myself back into that. Dad said something. He said, legacy, you'll find out, is more important than money later on, because his legacy, if you play like this all the time for the next 8-10 years, and you look and you take a little, maybe $1 million less, whatever, you're going to make that up on the back end, wholeheartedly. But if you take that extra million and go somewhere else, now you don't make these plays. In a year or two, you're going to be let go because you're going to be making too much money to finish out that contract. And what kind of legacy are you leaving? Here you got the players. I'm telling you guys, you got to start being smart and do what you want, not what these agents be wanting you to do. These agents are helping their career, like the offensive coordinators. They're trying to guide their career while they're in charge and helping you with your career. You got to make sure, hey, bro, you work for me, not me for you.
Mike, I've got important questions here for you, and this goes to AJ because gold jackets and rings. I think you compromised bigger numbers in Dallas for those rings. Mike, you could have went to the Jets and got yourself 1,700 yards every year and 80, 90 catches. But did you find yourself having to do this? For the structure of the team, I have to have everybody involved for us to be able to win. It's got to be a team effort because, Mike, you want every football thrown to you. But would you rather have your gold jacket or would you rather have those 3 rings? What would be more important to you? Because legacies, right. Mike, there's only 300 guys. Anybody, look, there's over 3,500 men that have won rings. There's only 300 plus guys that have a gold jacket. So it's a tough conversation. I think that's kind of what AJ's looking at. I'm in the 28th ranked offense. I want to get to Canton too. I've got a ring. How do you balance that, Mike?
Right. And I want them both. There is no balancing it. And I want them both.
You did it at every level too.
And I got them both, but you got them both because I understood how the team works. AJ and Saquon, that's the blessing right there. Emmett and I, before every game, walked out. We did a double trouble. He was 22, I was 88. We walked in with the mentality. The victory is the most important thing. Now, how we get there is up to us. Now, the defense is going to take something away. That's why we would always say when we tap each other, by land or by air. Whatever you want to do, bro, but you're going to lose this game. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to take away the run, we going to do this by air. You know, you want to take away the pass, we going to do this by running. But soon like when you get 2 teams, double team, triple teams, I remember a young T.O. asking me one time, he said, how do you handle the double teams, man? For 2 people, 3 people playing you. I said, oh, how do you beat it? I said, I go right in the huddle. I go to 2 and 2 and say, you better get your ass ready. If I got 2, 3 people on me, you should be getting some yards around here. You see what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. I'm not going to beat 3 people all the time. But if I got 2, 3 people on me, you should be getting your butt running. So it's accountability again. And that's the part I hate about what I see with AJ. You know, you got a great dude there in Saquon and the way he is about things. If anybody should be throwing helmets and fits and mad when you talk about a change of seasons from what they did last year, this year, it should be Saquon, and you hadn't heard a word from him. And it does accentuate, highlight, and accent AJ that much more when that kind of superstar is so peaceful.
Mike, why'd you wear 47 at Miami?
You know, that's the number they threw to me, man. They just gave me that number. I didn't, I told people about that when I didn't want to wear that number. I tried to go get Jimmy to change it and went in and, I was a rookie. Jimmy didn't want to give freshmen anything. He came up with that old story to me. I said, Coach, can I change this to number 7? He told me, Dan, Michael, every time I see you on that practice field catching them plays, you look like a 747 coming down the football field, landing in the end zone, scoring touchdown. Dan, I looked at it, I was like, really? I said, oh, that's what you see? I said, that's what you see? He said, yeah. I said, boy, this number look crisp again. I said, I like that. I said, okay, Coach. I walked out there. I was so excited, man. I was like, man, Coach said I'm a 747 landing in the end zone. Years later, he told me. Years later, we had won a Super Bowl in Dallas. Here in Dallas, he said to me, we were out somewhere drinking. He said, "Michael, I couldn't believe you was a little young buck coming in there." He said, I couldn't believe you bought that story." I said, "What story, Coach?" He said, "That 47 story."
Hey,
I said,
Mike,
"You dirty."
Mike, I'm gonna leave you with this one here, man. And I repeat this story to you, and I'll never, ever, ever, ever. And I want people to know that when I met him, he was, and that tone loc, that stopwatch you had around your neck. This dude's 17, 18 years old. He looks at me and he goes, 4-5, I'm in Canton. and I'm going like this. I go, "Hey, what are you talking about? You got 2 more years of mine." He goes, 4-5. He's running a mile frontwards, backwards. He's out there after practice. And I'm watching this. You know what you made us all do? All of us, we all went, "Well, shit, how am I going to get to the NFL if I'm not working extra after?" How many guys that you used to see? Me and Jerome would go over there and we start working extra. Russell Maryland wants to be taught. That was just a crazy culture we had, man, is that everyone, it wasn't just about the 3.5 hours. It was about getting to the next level. And that's where we wanted to go.
Yep, it was, you're right. It was everything. Damn, I wore that damn stopwatch like dudes wore necklaces. You hear me? I never got to. Because remember what everybody said. Don't know how he's going to run now, Mike. It depends on what kind of run what kind of 40 does he have? What kind of 40? It had been dogging me in my head. So I wore that thing to class. It was like my whole concept was, I'm gonna run this 4-5 and get the hell out of this ghetto. I'm gonna run this 4-5. That was man. You know what's so funny, man? I swear,
like Flavor.
Right. Like Flavor. I literally wore a clock. I was Flavor Flav before Flavor Flav. That was before Flavor. I was big. I wore that clock around my neck for real. You know, it's so funny. I went home, man. I'm 59. I went home and those the little paint. I had a piece of some green paint because we had stole a bike a long time ago. I spray painted it green. It was the only paint we had, the only paint color we had, right? So the paint we had left over, I spray painted the yard markers in the street, 40 yards, 100 yards. And I used to practice running the 40s out there. Man, I went back home because I still own the house we grew up in. My sister and I still own those houses. So I went back home and those marks are still in the road, Dad. I was like, look at this right here. How many times that the 10-year-old boy ran this 40-yard sprint right here.
I loved your mother. I loved your mom so much, man. She come down to see you. God forbid, man. The other guy I was more intimidated with was Mr. Highsmith. Every time he came around, I go, "Yes, Mr. Highsmith."
Yeah, me too.
Alonzo's dad carried his ass like that. You're like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Highsmith." Yes, sir. Your mom was so awesome, man. I mean, your family too. I mean, what you did and where you came from. I mean, that's great. You own the homes, man.
Right.
You were really gonna go to Indiana one time?
Yeah, I was, Dan. I was following Jerry Sullivan, who's a very good friend of mine. Very great, a great coach, And I had Jerry was my coach at Indiana University the first time I really left Fort Lauderdale, and they brought me to a camp in Indiana. And for that camp, I had to go work the summer scraping the wallpaper off all of those high rises on the beach, dude. Dude, I was fire hot because they paid for it, so they made me work the summer. Dog, I would get one of those little scrape things, man, and you scrape for an hour, and you maybe only clear this much space, getting that old wallpaper off. And I'm looking down because I'm up in the high rise. I'm looking down. All the beautiful young ladies in bikinis are down hanging out by the pool, and I'm up there scraping. I said, man, I'll never forget saying. I said to my boy Lorenzo White, he was with me because
Michigan State kid. I remember
Michigan State. With Lorenzo White, I remember saying, "Low, this bullshit, low." Boom, Lo, I'm telling you right now, Lo,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be doing this junk all my life, Lo. I'm gonna be down there with them white folks. I'm gonna be down
Hey,
there on the water with the
hey,
white folks. Yeah.
Mike, let me tell you this Jerome one here, man. It's like I mean, we could let me tell you the Jerome one. So I get down and he goes like this. He goes, "Hey, I want you to grab your jersey here because we're gonna go over to Liberty City in overtime." I go, "I don't know shit. I'm from New England. I don't know." I'm going, "Yeah." He goes, "Wear your jersey, kid. The only thing wider than you would be the lines in the highway." And so I go like this, I put it on, and I go over there. This is where I met Luke for the first time. I go in there, and he goes, "This is my boy Sileo. Is the next guy." And he looks over. He goes, "What do you mean the next?" I go, "What the next guy?" He goes, "I didn't know what it meant because where I was." He goes, "You the next guy." And so I started seeing. So they started handing me this. They had like gizzards and like all the southern food. I'm in
All
it.
that southern
All these
food,
Chinese
greens,
boxes,
all
all
greens,
the
everything.
greens and shit like this. I'd never eaten any of this, man. And so he goes like this. So, Mike, what was really cool about all of us back then, we were all going into overtime in Liberty City. We were all trying to inspire those kids to want to be the next guys that go into Miami and want to be the next guys. I thought that's what made our program and us. I don't know they do that anymore, but us, like Overtown, Liberty City, Belglades, going down there, you know, where Eddie Brown was and all them guys. I kind of missed that a little bit on what our environment was, you know?
Yep. D, you're right, D. And right there is why I show up every Saturday at those, still trying to hold and keep and letting kids know what it means to us, what it was for us. And they are, and right now, dude, y'all are carrying they're writing their history while carrying our legacy. You see what I'm saying? I want to encourage you as much. The more I encourage you, the better I'm helping me. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go and do what we did, they'll talk about what we did. See, so you just try to encourage it and keep that cycle going. But what you're also talking about, D, is the brotherhood we had. You heard what you just said, Dan. You can walk. You had that jersey on, and another thing, you got that jersey on, right? We're seeing right now what just happened with Shador Sanders. You know, them breaking in his house and everything, dude. When we were coming up Miami, and since we were all coming up from hard time, they would never do anything to us. They protected. You had that jersey on. White dudes couldn't go into overtime. You can go in there and they go, hey, they're gonna give you any and everything you need.
That's
because it was the town, it was the city, it was everything with the football team. Nobody would be robbing y'all while you're playing. It's just different now, man. It's just different, you know. And I miss that too, D. I miss that.
I tell you, Mike, I could go on,
and we'll never get it again. You'll never have that again. You felt like we were bringing a city together, a whole world. Yeah.
No, we did. You know what, Mike? I tell you what, the love affair that I had for my teammates, it was the greatest education. I remember this, what you did to me one time. So I was sitting there, I remember, and folks think that I'm a big mouth, and I am. So I come down, Mike goes like this. I'm like this. This goddamn Louis Faircon, Mike looked over at me and goes, you know anything about him? And I go, no. He goes, well, let me educate you a little bit before you start opening your mouth about it. This is in our locker room. I don't think people realize that it was just different cultures, different things, but we all came together. We all had conversations. It was politics. But we were all one. And it was the greatest education I ever had in my life, was being raised in that locker room at the University of Miami on what it meant to be a man, because I learned to be together. It wasn't about black and white. It was really about being brothers. And I carry that forward. I think people think that I'm just like, I'm over here, but the greatest education I ever had in my life was being around all my teammates at the University of Miami. It taught me to be a man.
Yeah, and here you talk about it. I remember when I went to St. Thomas, because I went to St. Thomas High School. St. Thomas High School.
Mike, I never went to school I had one black guy in my school, and I got down to Miami. I got four roommates.
Exactly. And I was one of the first. St. Thomas Aquinas is one of the premier high schools in the country now. But I was one of the first real niggas to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Right. So now, and then I set up a scholarship to bring other guys in from those areas. But now St. Thomas has more guys in the NFL probably than anybody, any other high school anywhere. But when I got over there, St. Thomas was predominantly white. It was a lot of white. And I remember playing people like Bartow and Titusville. These were all black schools. And we would come out on the field to practice, and they start laughing at us in warm-ups. And I would talk to my team before the game. I said, "You see all this?" I said, "They think they're brothers. They think these brothers are laughing at us because they think they're brothers." I said, "But they're not the brothers we are, because they haven't put the work in that we have together. Now watch when we go out here, we gonna show them what real brothers are about." And we whoop that ass.
Hey, Mike, one more, please. Let me go here. So it was when Testaverde won the Heisman. Jerome Brown, Alonzo Highsmith, it was Darryl Fullington, and it was Tolbert Bain. So these guys come into this Italian neighborhood in Connecticut, knock on the door at about 9:30. My aunt's listening right now. So they knock on the door. Jerome goes like this. "Hey, we know." I go, "What are you doing? Hey, you better get in here." He goes like this. And they go, "What do you mean?" I go, "This is Italian area." He goes, my grandpa goes, "Get him in here." My grandpa had never met him. We drank beers. We ate meatballs until 3:00 in the morning. We sat around there. My grandpa and Jerome became like such great friends. Jerome and all those guys left, and my grandfather looked at me because he hadn't been around a lot of black guys, and he goes like this. "I see what you're talking about now." I said, "It's the greatest experience of my entire life. I've never in my entire life met men who were just committed to being champions and, just being brothers, man." Mike, I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, me coming down there like that from an outsider, it was so fucking unbelievable, Mike. It was I never forget it. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about those times being raised in that locker room. It was just incredible. Incredible.
It really was. In all of my moments with you, D, us riding up and down 95, us hanging out, going to Strawberry, going to Manhattan's right around the corner, Manhattan, hitting the Manhattan, just all of it, man. And I think you said something that I need to mention that I think is important on any championship team. When you talked about when you become a championship team and a real close football team, your extended family is your family also. And the way you treated my mom, or the way you treated the way we treated each other's families, made us even more like, because people coming down, they're gonna take pictures. You after the games, we got to be willing to do this. This is all family here. Everybody, you're never like, "No, I don't take enough pictures. We don't want to do that." No. It's just Shanice. Come on, let's take a picture. All of that stuff matters, man. All of it matters because it bonds you and it binds you. So when we come to each other in the fourth quarter, we know we're not talking from a selfish standpoint. We're talking about this us. I need more out of you. This is not just, and so it makes a huge difference. And I hope honestly that AJ and Jalen gets back to that, because they came in as best friends.
That's right.
Like best friends. He came over here because of Jalen Hurts. That's what right. And sometimes you start getting people and dealing with people and everybody spitting and saying things, it affects you. That's why the Bible says you must guard your gates of entrance. What gates of entrance are those? The 5 gates that you have to bring information into your soul: your eye gate, ear gate, nose gate, mouth gate, and what you touch, your touch gate. Monitor those gates of entrance to make sure nobody is trying to tear your family apart.
Mike, I love you so much, man. I know we're all praying for Bernie too. Bernie got delivered, so I've been staying in touch with him daily. Yeah. So just say, I know we all are too. But Mike, I love you to death, dude. I really do. You're one of my really good friends, and I don't have very many, except for my teammates at UM. But you're one of my great friends.
Yeah, since you got there, when D first came, Pete, let me tell you something, man, we hooked in right away. I said, now, who is this Italian white boy coming around here trying?
Hey, Jerome goes like this. There's no way he's white. There's no way he's white because he runs a 4.8.
and Dan came right in too with all of that stuff, all that hype talking, everything. He fit right on in down there. So I'm like, come on, D, we good, man. And D was my boy, man. You always been my boy.
Always
I love
have
you, man.
been, man.
And that's why when you call D, I'm gonna make time for you. Our relationship says that forever, buddy. Ever. I'll make time for you. I love you, bro.
Tell your family I love them very much, and I love you, Mike. Mike, thanks for spending so much time with me.
I appreciate you, brother. Anytime. Hey, God bless, man.
You got it, man. Michael Irvin.